Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Light and Life podcast. I'm your host, Liza, here with Pastor Tim.
Hey, Liza.
Hello. Today we're talking about singleness. Are you ready?
I guess. Yeah.
I haven't been single in a while, huh?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. And I was not good at it, I would say.
You weren't good
from
at
the
singleness.
outset. I was not good at it.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited to talk about this topic. And we've had bits and pieces of singleness conversation and my own lived experience here and there in the podcast, but I don't think we've dedicated a specific episode to it. People kind of, I should say, for me, it's really easy to feel behind and fear about the future. Like, am I going to end up alone? Because God doesn't promise us a spouse, you know?
Right.
And so, it turns into real questions. Like, am I behind? Am I broken? Am I being overlooked? You know, what do they have that I don't have? And it turns into really, like, self-focused victim mentality that's really hard to break.
Yeah.
And so, today I just kind of want to build hope-filled theology around the idea of singleness, one that's, you know, not sugarcoating loneliness, but doesn't reduce someone to the relationship status. Like, I'm way more than just a single person.
There you go. Yep.
So, what was singleness like for you?
Oh, boy. Well, I was definitely, I'm not 100% sure this term is being used as much as it was all these years ago, but I was codependent.
Okay.
And it was really clear that I was not okay not having a partner in my life. So that led me into some relationships that were not so good, and my participation in those relationships wasn't particularly healthy.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Sure.
So singleness was, for a moment in time, it was something that I was intentionally pursuing, being fully at peace with myself and with the Lord as someone who's not in a dating relationship.
Right.
And that was a growth edge that I had to overcome. Like, I had to learn to even have a day where I felt at peace and fulfilled with everything in my day without a love interest.
So you made an effort to just.
It was like a growth thing. Oh, this was my first relationship with a therapist. It was a Christian counselor.
Which is like dating too.
Which is, well.
In a way.
His name was Drew. And
Go Drew.
But no, it was, this was the work that we needed to do. Like he was putting a finger on it. Like, you're not okay being alone and being alone with the Lord. And like that, in fact, you know, it's sort of like until that happens, you're probably not going to be okay in a relationship either.
Yeah.
Because the way you're going into the relationship is that you're not okay without this, you know. It's like, and you need to get to okay with the Lord and at peace with the Lord and fulfilled in the Lord if you're going to have a chance at a healthy relationship, which, you know, we both felt like that's what I wanted and what I longed for. So singleness is a big deal. So I remember early on in my preaching, I've been preaching for 26 years now, and I remember early on in my preaching as a lead pastor, someone coming up and saying that challenge about, it kind of sounds like you think the ideal life is husband and wife and 2 kids and a half a dog or whatever it is. That, you know,
Half a dog. That's terrifying.
By the way, you have a half
Which
a dog.
half?
No. No, that's a story for another time. But little George is less than he once was.
He is.
And yet he's more than he...
He got fixed recently.
Yes, fixed.
I feel like...
That is not the right word.
It's tragic. Poor guy.
Tragic.
Poor little fella.
But I had a good friend come up to me and say, you know, why does it seem... And really, this was a great conversation because she just was really open, where she said, and she was at the time in her late 40s, and she said, I'm not single by choice. So what happened was, like, I was preaching, perfect. The family scene is sort of this getting set up as this ideal, which is just this American cultural ideal. And so she was sort of correcting me on that. It's like, you're totally right. And the church needs to be really vocal about the role of singles in the church, like how important it is that there are single people in the church who are not retreating to behind the garage door life as the core of their life. Their life is fully expressed in the community of faith, in these relationships of friendships and discipleship and connection and commitment, and that's so critical to understanding what the church is. So I got up and I tried to elevate the call to singleness as that positive call as well, and she was really great to say, okay, like, good try, Pastor, but also there's the fact that I wish I could be married, but I never felt called to singleness, and yet this is my lot in life. Like, this is how my life is playing out, and so how do I deal with that? And so there's just so many different stories and categories of where people are.
Yeah, I was sharing earlier with Ryan, hi Ryan, back there, about how I went on a dating fast one time.
Yeah.
Thinking that it would just be this, like, life-giving, life-changing thing for me. And I can't say that that's the case.
Oh, darn. Yeah.
But I will say what I did get out of it was pretty cool in the sense that as, like, a single person, I'm 27. I feel like, all my sisters are married. They live in the South. They all got married right after college. So it is easy to feel behind. And so I would go into a coffee shop and look at every single person there as, like, a prospect.
Yeah.
And that is just an awful feeling.
Okay.
It feels dirty. It feels icky to, like, constantly look at people, strangers that you've never met, as someone who can serve me or, like, fulfill some hole or some desire, instead of just viewing them as, like, a person that I could get to know. And so I think that dating fast, like, relieved me of that feeling, knowing, like, I'm not dating right now. I can go into a coffee shop. If someone says hi, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm hoping I get poached by some godly man when I go into this,
Right.
to relieve me of that. But
how long did you do that?
It was 6 months, I think.
6 months.
Yeah. Of just, like, trying to refine myself. But when I get into the mentality of, like, feeling like I'm without, it spirals into a victim mindset. And not, like, my little sister had to remind me who got married to her high school sweetheart. And not that their marriage isn't happy. It's great. But she said to me, which helped me change my outlook, like, Liza, I kind of envy you because you're able to figure out who you are and grow and learn on your own. And I didn't get that opportunity. Not that I regret, she said, not that I regret marrying Joe. It's just, you're so quick to think of, like, what you don't have. And I needed to hear that. It was really helpful. And I actually came across this Instagram post. I'm not going to take credit for all the wise things I'm about to say.
Okay.
Because I do think they're wise. But, again, they're not from me. And it was this girl who was getting married was talking about what changed in her heart posture before her husband came into her life. And it was, her prayer life, and I'm just going to say my prayer life because it's the same thing, is constantly like, God, where my husband
Where's
at?
my guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where is he? Bring him to me.
Yeah.
I want, someone to lead me. I want someone to protect me. I want someone to love me. And
6'1", strong jawline.
Totally. Is good, at building things maybe.
Okay.
Like can build me a new
and
something
also
on my
super
porch.
Smart.
Yeah. They're smart. They play sports. They'll throw the pigskin in the yard with my kids in the future. Yeah. Anyhow,
and do physics, astrophysics.
Add physics. No, but I have this list of, like, all these things that I want. And what I realized after reading this really cool Instagram post is that I'm asking God for the blessing. Like, I'm praying for the blessing. God, bring this to me. without changing me.
Uh-huh.
And so the shift lies within, knowing, yes, these are my desires, to be a wife and to be a mother and to glorify you, Lord, in that. But first, change me. Like, reveal in me the wounds that I haven't healed. Show me my unhealthy patterns that I refuse to change. Correct me in love. Yeah, before you send me this person, humble me and help me to deal with, 100 of my flaws before I point out one flaw in a man. Because that's what I do. I'll go on a few dates here and there and I'll be like, this guy texts weird. I can't deal with him. And Liza, that's not fair.
Okay.
So I'm self-aware in that regard, but that is truly a prayer. It's like, humble me, make me figure out what's going to make me a good partner someday versus constantly criticizing other people. Help shape me into a woman who trusts instead of like grasps and tries to hold on to control. And so I think, and this topic couldn't have come at a better time because this is something that I've been reflecting on just maybe the past 3 or 4 days of like, oh, this is what I'm doing wrong. I'm incredibly self-focused and figuring what I am without and thinking, that God doesn't have a plan for me. And that's just not true. And while I'm not promised a spouse, singleness, I guess, is a calling too, but it's not all that I am or all that I am made out.
Yeah, it's not a defining identity.
Yeah.
There's, whether you're single or married, you're making a choice each day whether to receive what God has for you with gratitude or to drop into some kind of self-pity cycle.
Right.
Like married doesn't fix that. So I'm pretty interested in this dating fast. So how hard was it to shift the mindset? And was it like you felt like I'm shopping, like the people around me are people that I'm, like the men around me, I'm shopping and I want to turn that off?
A little, maybe not even shopping, just like thinking of maybe window shopping would be a good way to look at it is, one, I walk into a room incredibly self-conscious because I'm like, maybe my future husband's in here today.
Yeah, so there's an emotional like energy that you're expending.
Yeah.
Thinking, constantly scanning.
Yeah, it's just tiring to like walk into a place and
think that you're prepared for your cute meet.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's meet cute.
Meet cute. Okay,
got
good.
It wrong.
Yeah, sorry.
But that's okay. I knew what you meant. I was preparing for my meet cute always, or just, and that's just no way to live, I don't think. I don't think it's a good way to live in anxiety or fear.
Right.
Out of like these...
Anticipation, like anticipation of an unknown...
And unrealistic expectations that you have that someone's going to come sweep you away at the local coffee shop. Like, what, Liza?
So when you came to the end of that, you said, okay, Lord, I've done my 6 month. What now?
Well, then I got a boyfriend.
Then you got a boyfriend.
Yeah. And then that didn't work out so well, so that's okay.
Okay.
And I'm like, should I do another dating fast so that I get another boyfriend? If I'm honest.
Don't you, there's things that we're lacking or we feel like we're lacking, you get into bargaining, right?
Yes.
Like, Lord, I'm going to get into bargaining. Like if even what I said, like I remember my counselor saying, until you are fully satisfied with yourself, you will not, yourself and the Lord, you will not be able to enter a relationship. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get that done so that I can.
Which is hard for me to believe. Can I combat that for a second?
Sure.
There are plenty of people who are not in relationship with the Lord, but are in relationship with other people.
That's right. Yeah. So there's no bargain chip here. Like there's no lever to pull to force God to bring us the blessing that we're expecting, that we want. And we're just
lame.
A lot more helpless, which is lame. There should be one, lame. Right? I mean, come on. I've been looking at
what do I have to do?
What do I have to do? Yep.
But it's like, you know what? If singleness is my calling, which I don't know if it is or not. I hope it's not.
Right.
How do I live in that? How do I champion that and not live in these lies of like, I am less than if I am single because I'm not. Two people can accomplish more than one, and I'm not on mission with someone in the world.
Oh yeah, all that. Well, just all the emotional fulfillment of being that tied to one other person. I mean, marriage is an absolute gift of the Lord, and so how do you hold that up and at the same time live daily fulfilled in what God's giving you for the day? I mean, I think that's the question. Is like holding this up over here as, Lord, I've got this vision for my life. I've got this openness in my heart. I've got this desire, this longing for marriage and children. Boy, another area would be, couples that do get married and they're just so ready to have children and it just isn't happening, and how suddenly painful that is because this vision is there and it's a biblical vision. It's a great vision. There's nothing evil about that vision,
right?
But it's not happening. And so now I'm in a choice of daily, am I going to live in gratitude for where I am and watching for Jesus to grow me today and be faithful to where I am today, even with this vision hanging out here? Or am I going to allow that vision plus the cultural stuff, like plus the layers of I'm not complete, I'm not, this is my identity. This identity is being pressed upon me of all of the cultural idolatry of the family, the American family. All that comes crashing at you to where you're just going to go into like the pity cycle. And it's a day by day, hour by hour fight, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
And as you learn that fight in this season, that's when you can pull the lever and God will release. No, but that season.
Why am I imagining a trap door?
Yeah, right.
In this.
No, not a trap door. It's like the gumball coming out of the thing.
Sure, but my brain, it's like, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
No, but
Sorry.
whatever is being learned in this season, will feed into God's intentions for the next season, and that's true. And boy, yeah, that's hard. But singleness in the church, there's so many categories. There's singleness like the stage that you're in, like a singleness of expectation, a singleness of I'm waiting, Lord, I'm preparing myself to meet my husband, and I want to stay open because I don't want to get too tracked where there's no adjustments that can be made for this whole other life that's going to come in, and I want to make room for that life, and I'm holding this sort of space. I'm holding the space and tension. Like that's that singleness time. And there's so much to talk about there about like what is dating and what is self-preparation and becoming the woman that the man that you want to marry would want to marry. And all that sort of stuff, that self-development stuff. Then there's singleness that's like my friend. Like I never wanted this. If I had my druthers, I would be married. But I'm pretty sure at this point in my life, that's not going to happen. And so I need to work through that with the Lord, that this vision never got fulfilled. But I'm willing to invest in friendships, Christian community, being a part of homes that are open, and being a part of discipleship and life group and prayer, and recognizing that my role may be a witness to the full fulfillment of a life that doesn't include marriage. And then there are folks that are called to that. Like they're like right out of the bat, I mean, they just know they've never had an interest. It's like the Lord has called me to singleness, or as we have spoken about, and the church needs to speak about openly, folks who are same-sex attracted and want to live out their life without turning against God's teaching about human sexuality. And so they're learning a life that doesn't include a romantic relationship with one person, a physical romantic relationship with one person. It's a fulfillment of relationship through community and deep friendships and church life. And there's another category.
Hit me.
What is it? Oh, yeah. I don't know. No, there's, widows and orphans. Widows, to care for what is really to care for the widows and orphans. Widows is a huge category. It's like, and folks that just, now they're single, and what's their witness to the church of, I've lost my husband, I've lost my wife, and was not my choice, obviously, and now I need the church, and the church needs me. The church needs me. The church needs widows to be the church. And what we have to learn as a community is, what does that mean? Like, what's my role towards a heartbroken widow? What's my role towards someone whose husband died 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and they're living out their life in singleness as a widow? And how do we learn as a church this sounds silly, but the richness and texture of community, of Christian community, in the community of faith, and what it really means to be the body of Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think leaning into community in general, and this is a theme that we talk about all the time, right? But it's so important, is like leaning on your people and letting them lean on you. And I didn't discover that kind of community for the first time until I moved here through the Fellows
Christian
program.
community, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know how I would survive without my friends. Like, they just lift me up and pour into me so well, and I know that I'm lucky to be able to return the favor to them. Not in a, like, transactional way, but we just...
Yeah. So I haven't pre-thought these things, but I want to think about for a minute, what do we learn from the singles in our church and about what church is? And one thing that comes to mind, and I hope we'll have more than one thing, but the first thing that comes to mind, is this widow category. There's a woman in the church. She's a super sweet woman, and she has been in this church longer. I mean, as a long, long time. And she would give me a big hug as I was, before the first service, as I was coming in, like in my robe. We just had this intersection where it's like, oh, you're here and I'm here, and it would happen Sunday after Sunday. We were just on this right track where we were going to intersect. And she would just give this big, sweet hug. And so I was looking forward to it, And so
Sweetie.
after this, and this was like 2 years in, and I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to my hug. And then she said to me, this is the only hug of my week. Okay. So she didn't mean it in a sad way. She just, oh, I love this hug too. This is the only hug of my week.
That can make me cry.
Right. So widow, and longtime widow. I mean, I think her husband passed maybe when she was 50, and she's in her 90s now. And so longtime widow, family distant, kids distant, nobody really in town, good friendships, good church community. But for her to say that to me stopped me in my tracks, because I suddenly realized, like, okay, here's all these people coming to church. Some of them are coming and like, I hope I like the music, or I hope the lesson today has got something really meaty that I can hang on to,
Yeah.
like I hope the coffee's hot. And here's this sweet woman who's coming to church, and that's going to be her hug that week. And that is church. And so much of it we're missing when we don't understand or ask or pursue the singles in our church, to really ask, what does this community mean to you? Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I think it's like so telling of women like that, to keep coming. Like, it'd be so easy to just give up. And to keep coming and to keep pushing and to keep pressing into community and the church body. One, shows their faith, like, and just total trust in God and like total submission to Him. And so, I know I learned that from, other single adults. My aunt, she's my step aunt, so my stepmom's sister,
Okay.
is single by choice,
Yeah.
which I find rare.
Yeah.
But she is a missionary and has been doing this forever and like has the biggest heart and the biggest kingdom mindset. And it's like, man, she's not without. Like, she doesn't lack
Yeah.
anything. Like, she has a big heart and people that love her, and she loves so big. So why am I putting so much weight
Right.
on singleness? Like, that
Right.
stuff is so encouraging and cool to hear.
So singles teach us the true nature and impact of Christian community. Singles teach us about our idols of marriage and family, and so if a single person is able in that position to live fully into the life that is truly life and to demonstrate that the fruit of the Spirit, and in the absence of either a wanted or an unwanted, primary marriage family relationship, that's demonstrating to us the true power of Christ to fulfill our lives.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Jesus, and he lived the perfect human life, and he never was married. He never had that sort of relationship. You look at Paul, and the thing about Paul, right, is he says at one point, I kind of wish like that you were as I am, so that you would be as free as I am to serve the church. And so he made some really interesting statements. I mean, this is what led to the Roman Catholic Church suggesting that priests should be celibate and stuff like that, and it's a whole problem. I mean, yeah, we don't go all the way down that road, because it's just a whole problem, because you're forcing people into something that God didn't really call them into, and is not required at all. Like, Peter was married. I mean, it's not required. But there's something about Paul, I think, and this would be controversial in some circles, but there is something about Paul's constitution that does not comport with a married relationship between a man and a woman. What is that? We don't know. But he declares, I wish you were like me. I mean, there is a way that I am that cuts that possibility out of my world. And I don't know what that was. Yeah. People can speculate. We're not told. But that demonstrates something that we're supposed to learn about what is truly fulfilling and complete life. It's not necessarily having a ring on and a spouse.
Right. Isn't there a verse, and it's in one of the Gospels, is it Matthew? I just remember where it's like, those who should accept this, or those who can accept this should accept this.
Right.
What? Where is that?
Yeah, that's Paul.
Okay.
Yep. This is for those who can accept. So, and that's about celibacy. Like, that's about singleness and remaining single and remaining devoted to the ministry of the church. And of course, the Roman Catholic Church took that down a track that it didn't need to go down, of that the church is your spouse. Mm-hmm. So they take vows of marriage to the church, and it just gets way off. Base. Yeah. But what I like about that, and we'll close with this, but just the scriptures are demonstrating a huge range, and the world is always pushing us into tiny boxes of expectation, that it only works if it's like this. The human experience of love is broad, and totally. In that broad experience, there is faithfulness and gratitude and joy, or there is unfaithfulness and self-pity and disobedience and despair. And but the range is broad. And so as much as the world tries to push and sets our hearts up for disappointment because we're getting pushed into you're this, and so you have to do that. You're this, you have to do that. You're this, you won't be fulfilled until that. The scripture says, the gospel says no to all that. Mm-hmm. The gospel says Christ can meet you where you are, and you can lead a fulfilling life following him, come what may. Be you single, married, widowed, unwillingly single. Christ can meet you in that place, and you can lead a full and fulfilling life.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Tim. I think that's a good place to close. So we'll give you a closing challenge, which is to write down a sentence that names who you are before your relationship status. If you're single, you're not confined to your singleness, and it might actually be a blessing. Something like, I'm loved, I'm called, and I'm not alone, or whatever is anchored in Jesus for you. And then take a relational step. Text a friend, join a group, reach out to someone. Let's make belonging something that we practice as a church for everyone, not just people based on their relational statuses. So thanks, guys, for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.